during a season. Imani always handled those with grace. However, after receiving our performance carefully, reviewing our performance carefully, and assessing our current position as an organization, we will chart a new course moving forward, end quote. 7-0 Atlanta in the bottom of the 5th inning in Atlanta against the Tigers. Tigers came in sub 500 today. Atlanta 40-31. Sean Murphy has been the bugaboo today. 2 2-run homers. He's got 4 RBIs in total. He's 3-for-3. With sports at 23 and 53 past each hour, I'm Jeremy Otto, WWJ News Radio 950.
Retirement doesn't have to be complicated. Are you sick of all the fancy charts and investment mumbo-jumbo thrown at you to justify the Wall Street fees you're being charged? It's not the size of your nest egg that matters, but rather the income it can produce. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and star in a brand new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception. In this film, we traveled over 20,000 miles interviewing real Americans who have retired successfully with a great lifestyle and peace of mind. They share their stories on how they get more retirement income with the same dollars paid, and the money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right, if the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even the super wealthy are shifting money into this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better, stress-free retirement, call to talk to a specialist and get a free copy of this brand new movie, The Retirement Deception. 888-479-5654. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free. So don't delay. Call 888-479-5654. Again, that's 888-479-5654.
Get the news you need to know without increasing your screen time.
And the free Odyssey app to your smart speaker or phone. And listen to WWJ News Radio 950 anywhere.
Or online at WWJNewsRadio.com.
WWJ News Time at 1:55. Time for a look at your money with the East Valley Rating.
Are you still going out to eat? Trying to spend less when you get there. Diners are trading down to cheaper options as they try to save money. Michael Halen, Senior Restaurant Analyst for Bloomberg Intelligence.
We're seeing a pullback on restaurant spending, particularly with customers that are making, $75,000 and less.
And Halen says inflation and rising auto and credit card debt have some diners pulling back. And for those making under $50,000 a year, the situation, he says, is even more extreme.
We are also seeing people trade out of quick service. Without a doubt, we're seeing, people making $50,000 and less trade down from, a quick service occasion to the grocery store and cooking themselves.
And one other money saver. Consumers are also switching from local independent restaurants to national chains operated by Brinker, Bloomin', Cheesecake Factory, and Texas Roadhouse because
they have tremendous scale. They have a lot of purchasing power. That's not something independent restaurants can offer.
I'm Denise Felton with the Bloomberg Business Report on WWJ News Radio 950.
Prescription required online consultation with a healthcare provider will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but it's 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. This free shipping and prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, and up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/radio and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Start your free online visit using this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. Free online visit, HIMS.com.
I'm Jackie Hayes. For children experiencing food insecurity, most providers creative safety nets to access to those meals during summer vacation leaves kids with challenges in their physical and mental development. But Forgotten Harvest is working hard to ensure these children don't get left behind. The Forgotten Harvest Children's Summer Lunch Program provides over 100,000 meals to kids in need every summer to ensure they get the nutrients they need to thrive. Get involved and donate today at ForgottenHarvest.org to help these all-important meals nourish Metro Detroit.
WWJ News Time 1:58. Time for a look at traffic and weather. Together on the 8th, here's Scott Bryant.
Tracy, on the AAA jam cams, a crash has been cleared on the eastbound 96 entrance ramp from Schaefer. A crash southbound Mound
Road and eastbound Dobry Drive in Sterling Heights looks like it's still blocking all lanes. And a crash affecting Walton Boulevard between Silver Hill and Silver Lake Road in Waterford Township. Dixie Highway would be an alternate. 275 slow northbound from Ecorse Road to Michigan Avenue and southbound after I-94. Next update, 208 from the Capital Mortgage Funding Traffic Center.
The AccuWeather forecast has that heat advisory remaining in effect through 10 p.m. tomorrow night. This afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds cannot rule out a heavy thunderstorm that could produce hail and damaging winds. Our high topping off at 92. By tonight, we slide back to a warm and humid overnight low of 73. Currently, at Detroit Metro, the temp is holding at 90. It's 90 downtown, and right here in our studios in Southfield, a hot 88.
This is News Radio 950, WWJ, Detroit's news, weather, and traffic station.
Good afternoon, I'm Tracy McCusker. Top stories ahead. A boil water advisory issued for one local community. We'll have the details. Also on the way, an update on the victims of the Rochester Hills splash pad shooting rampage. The latest coming up. But first, Tropical Storm Alberto already causing flooding issues for parts of Texas. CBS News is next.
News Radio 950, Detroit. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Monica Riggs. Heavy winds from Tropical Storm Alberto are already whipping at the shores of Galveston, Texas. CBS's Dave Malkoff is there with more on conditions.
We did see one mayor north of here going over to the beach and telling people, please stay out of the water. But now that we have this storm surge here, even in the parking lot, I've had to move to the chest waders because it was lapping above my big, tall boots.
Jesse Rojas is helping people prep in Corpus Christi.
We've put together several thousand sandbags for the community. We're distributing these sandbags for the anticipation of all the flooding that we're supposed to get.
The storm's expected to make landfall in Mexico later tonight and hit Texas tomorrow. Out west, wildfires are still raging and have killed at least one person in New Mexico. CBS's Omar Villafranca's there.
We get here, we had to drive through some thick smoke. We saw some burned out cars and some burned out structures and some hot spots of crews who are going to be working all day to try to get these fires under control.
Two big fires are now burning in California. The Post fire near LA is now almost 40% contained. Another in the Sacramento Valley is spreading fast. Both have burned about 16,000 acres. And heat still the big story in the Midwest and Northeast today with temps well into the 90s. Gianna Takata is trying to keep cool near Philly.
Sit down in some shade sometimes and drink a lot of water.
Experts also urge folks to stay inside. The heat's had a deadly effect overseas.
As many as 600 people have died during this year's Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia, where temperatures at some of Islam's most holy sites have hit 117 degrees or more. The Saudis themselves aren't commenting, but hundreds of people have gathered outside a Mecca emergency facility trying to trace missing family members, and a medic says there are at least 600 bodies inside.
As CBS's Vicki Barker reporting, Russia and North Korea's leaders signed a mutual aid alliance today in Pyongyang. We have that story from CBS's Elizabeth Palmer.
The so-called strategic partnership they just signed pledges each will defend the other if attacked. But U.S. officials believe Russia, above all, wants a steady supply of North Korean weapons to use in Ukraine.
The San Francisco Giants and St. Louis Cardinals will remember baseball legend Willie Mays at Rickwood Field in Alabama tomorrow. It's the oldest professional ballpark in the country and former home to Mays and the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro Leagues. The Say Hey Kid was considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He died yesterday at 93. This is CBS News.
And now, a list of things from Progressive Insurance. Home, auto, boat, motorcycle, RV, ATV. Progressive protects them all. Learn more about bundling at Progressive.com.
Live and local. Detroit's #1 news station. News Radio 950, WWJ.
Good afternoon, I'm Tony Ortiz. Our top story at 2:03. Residents who live in a section of Livonia between 7 Mile Road, south to Joy Road, and Wayne Road, east to Inkster Road, are under a boil water alert today after a pressure-reducing valve malfunction this morning, and that caused a drop in water pressure for about 30 to 35 minutes.
For some reason, that particular pressure-reducing valves kind of slammed shut, and wasn't allowing, water pressure to flow through there into that part of the city. So by 9:10 we had everything restored. It was back, water pressures were back up, and we were, investigating of why that actually happened.
That's Don Roraff, the Department of Public Works Director for the City of Livonia, who says that boil water advisory is expected to remain in place for the next 24 to 48 hours. We're getting an update this afternoon on the conditions of the victims of Saturday's mass shooting in Rochester Hills.
The Oakland County Sheriff's Office says 3 more victims of Saturday's shooting at the Brooklands Plaza splash pad have been released. That brings the total to 6 out of the hospital. There were 9 victims total. Released yesterday were a 4-year-old boy, 31-year-old man, and 42-year-old man. Also out of the hospital, a 78-year-old man, 39-year-old woman, and 37-year-old woman. Still recovering from their injuries in the hospital are a 39-year-old woman and her 8-year-old son, both in critical condition. That 4-year-old released yesterday was her other son, and a 30-year-old woman is the third still hospitalized. She's in stable condition. Luke Sloan, WWJ, News Radio 950.
Meanwhile, conversations have begun regarding possible charges against the mother of the Rochester Hills splash pad shooter.
Macomb County Prosecutor Pete Lucido is not ruling out criminal charges against Catherine Nash. That's the mother of the splash pad shooter. Lucido says that he is reviewing the red flag laws, which would allow a family member to call police to remove weapons from the home if that person is mentally ill. Lucido has questions.
Did anybody know or should have known, especially a mother, that he's mentally unstable? I need to get him help right away, and I need to get those weapons. Because remember, everybody, he had 11 weapons at his own home, according to the statements that the mother made.
Now, Lucido says that he is waiting for the Oakland County Sheriff to finish the report. We now know that the mother has obtained a lawyer, is lawyering up, and is not cooperating with authorities. Charlie Langton, WWJ News Radio 950.
WWJ News Time, it's 2:05. The excessive heat warning is over for Metro Detroit, but our entire WWJ listening area is still under a heat advisory. National Weather Service Detroit meteorologist Brian Cromwell says heat index aren't as high thanks to the clouds. We asked him if that warning, however, could be reissued.
Yeah, it's possible. I wouldn't put it as likely at this point, but if something does change, then we're still monitoring the conditions and looking at how things are going to shape up in these next couple days.
Elevated ozone levels have triggered an air quality alert for most of the WWJ listening area tomorrow. That includes Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, Monroe, Washtenaw, and Livingston counties. An apartment complex in Metro Detroit currently has no air conditioning as we continue to deal with an oppressive heat wave.
Hot being subjective, some tenants at Thompson Tower Apartments in Inkster say it's not that bad without air conditioning for the past couple of days. Others, however, say it's unbearable.
Very hot. 10th floor, so it's even more hot.
This 10th floor resident didn't want to give her name, but said she's about had it with the conditions. But have they told you when it might be fixed?
They said last night it was supposed to be fixed, and mine still wasn't, so.
Management at Thompson Towers said they're working on the AC outage. In the meantime, they've set up cooling rooms on various floors. But tenants say only one of the 2 elevators in the 10-story, 300-unit tower works. From Inkster, Mike Campbell, WWJ News Radio 950.
Beaches along Lake Michigan, located north of Grand Haven, have waves and currents that are dangerous today for swimming. Lisa McDonald of Chesterfield lost her 19-year-old daughter Emily to a rip current at South Haven 2 years ago. Her boyfriend, 22-year-old Corey Ernster, also died in that current. McDonald is talking with kids this week and next week in South Haven about water safety.
I've spoken to hundreds of people in the last 2 years, and most of them have absolutely no idea how dangerous the lakes are. People associate oceans with danger. They don't associate Great Lakes with danger. And that's from people who live here, and that's from people who come from out of town. The lakes out of town are much different than the lakes here in Michigan. So a lot of tourists from out of town get caught up in the rip currents because they simply don't understand the lake.
McDonald has founded Save Lives, Hire Lifeguards, and says many beaches along the lake do not have lifeguards. She says lifeguards could make a real difference in saving lives. Coming up in 2 minutes after traffic and weather together.
Check your pantry. There's an important recall the feds say has gone unchecked. I'm Jonathan Carlson.
WWJ News Time, it's 2:08 time now for traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 8s. With a look at traffic, we say good afternoon to Scott Ryan.
Good afternoon, Tony. On the AAA Jam Cams, crash is cleared southbound Mound at eastbound Dover. That's the M59 service drive. In Sterling Heights, still a crash affecting Walton Boulevard, roughly between Silver Hill and Silver Lake roads. In Waterford Township, Dixie Highway would be a way around it. Slow traffic northbound 275 Ecorse Road to Michigan Avenue. One lane open, also one lane open southbound 275 after I-94 near the airport. Westbound M14, 275 to Sheldon. Two right lanes are closed. Northbound Southfield Freeway, I-94, the right lanes that are closed, that runs all the way up to Ford Road now, so you'll see some delays there. You can take the service drive around it if needed. North and southbound M53, seeing a few delays between 27 and 29 mile. That's one lane closed each way. And if you're headed through the Flint area, southbound I-75 from 475 on the north end of town to Pearson Road, we've got the two right lanes closed for another hour. Your next update at 2